Welcome to the online training module for the Online Reporting System, also known as ORS. This training module is designed to help you navigate ORS and understand its features. This training module includes many examples of ORS features. The Online Reporting System User Guide, located on your state's portal, contains additional information about features of ORS that are specific to your state. Please note that images in this presentation are for demonstration purposes, and the appearance of your state's ORS may vary slightly. After viewing this presentation, you should understand how to navigate the system, view score reports, generate and export summary statistics and student results, search for specific students, and view and edit student rosters. The ORS is designed to provide you with assessment data and tools you need to understand the performance of your students. Data presented in the system is interactive, allowing you to apply filters and break down results to better understand student performance. Because ORS can aggregate results in real time, the system is able to rapidly provide current and reliable reporting information. Student data can be securely viewed and downloaded for districts, schools, and teachers. However, note that students must be registered in the Test Information Distribution Engine, or TIDE, in order for them to be included in the ORS. For more information about adding students into TIDE, consult the TIDE User Guide. The ORS is a secure, role-based system. Your access to reports and data in the system depends on your user role and your district and school associations. To log into ORS, you must have an authorized email address and password, which is the same as the one you use for TIDE and the TA interface. Contact your school administrator if you do not have an EdPortal or TIDE account. Users can access the online reporting system in 3 easy steps. First, navigate to the Iowa Department of Education portal. Log in, select the appropriate organization in the upper right-hand corner drop-down menu, and then click Iowa ELPA21. You will be directed to the Iowa ELPA21 portal. On the left side of the page, click the appropriate roll card. Finally, click the card for Online Reporting System to enter the ORS. The Welcome page appears when you first log into the ORS and asks you to select the type of report you want to view. Note that you can navigate to a different report at any time within ORS. Retrieve Student Results allows you to download student data for a district, school, teacher, or roster. The data includes students' personal information and their performance on the selected test and administration. Score reports provide test score data. You can compare score data between individual students, schools, and your state. Information on strengths and weaknesses in a specified field is also available by domain. The ORS banner that is displayed near the top of each page consists of buttons or global tools for accessing the different reports and performing different tasks. The Score Reports button takes you to the homepage dashboard that provides overall score data for your district, school, or students. The Reports and Files button provides access to test summary statistics and the Retrieve Student Results page, where you can download large files of student results. Inbox takes you to the Inbox section of the Retrieve Student Results page that lists the student data files you have requested. Search Students lets you search for student information by using the student's name or SSID number. Add Roster allows you to create custom rosters of your students for data analysis. View/Edit Rosters allows you to view existing rosters and add or remove students from them as desired. The Help button is where users may find useful information and step-by-step instructions for performing tasks in ORS. Print provides options to print the data displayed on the page. Export exports the data displayed on the page as an Excel file. And Definitions provides definitions for terms specific to the report you are viewing. This tool only appears on some pages. Your access to data in ORS depends upon your user role in TIDE. This table shows the data that is accessible for the ELPA21 District Coordinator, Building Coordinator, and Test Administrator roles. A district-level user can access data for students in his or her district. and a school-level user can access data for students in his or her school. In order for a teacher or test administrator to view their students in ORS, they must first have their building coordinator or district coordinator add the students to a roster associated with the test administrator's name in TIDE or ORS. If a teacher logs into ORS before their students are added to a roster, the teacher will not be able to view any score reports for their students. New rosters must be created each year, and rosters for previous years cannot be edited. For a detailed list of user roles and associated permissions, see your TIDE user guide. When you click Score Reports on the Welcome page or from the banner, the Home page dashboard appears. This page provides data about your students, the number of students tested, and the percentage proficient for the selected test and administration. District personnel see district summaries, school personnel see school summaries, and teachers see summaries of their students. From the homepage dashboard, you can select the test and administration for which you wish to view score data. You can also specify the students whose data you wish to view using the available radio buttons. This feature is particularly helpful for school personnel who want to see how students currently assigned to the user's class roster performed in previous grades, even if students were enrolled in different schools during those previous administrations. If you currently have a student who did not test in the selected test and administration, no data will be displayed for that student. An example may be students who moved to your school from out of state. Note that only 2015-16 scores are currently available in ORS. After spring 2017, scores for the 2016-17 administration will also become available. Additional scores will be added with each new administration. Scores for students who were mine at the end of the selected administration allows you to see score data for those students who tested in the selected test and administration and were associated with your roster, school, or district at the end of the selected test and administration. Scores for my current students allows you to view score data for students assigned to your current rosters, even if they were previously enrolled in a different school or district. This view enables you to see your current students' previous strengths and weaknesses before they begin testing this year. Scores for students who were mine when they tested during the selected administration allows you to see score data for those students who were associated with your roster, school, or district when they were tested in the selected test and administration. On the next few slides, we will illustrate an example of how to use the 3 radio buttons. Imagine that 2 of your students, Student A and Student B, took a 2015-16 test. Immediately after testing, Student B moved to a different district. Then, after the 2015-16 administration ended, a new student named Student C joined your class after taking the test in a different school. Selecting the first radio button will include Student A's score and exclude scores for Students B and C from reports. This option helps you answer the question, how did my students from last year perform on the test, including students who took the test at another school. Selecting the second radio button will also exclude Student B's score, but it will include Student C, who is currently associated with you. This option helps you answer the question, how did my current students perform on last year's test? Selecting the third radio button will include scores for students A and B and exclude student C's scores from the report. This option helps you answer the question, how did my students from last year perform on the test, including students who moved away during the school year? After defining which students you wish to view, look at the table near the bottom of the homepage dashboard. This table displays aggregate data for the test. Number of students tested displays the number of students to date who have completed and submitted their tests for scoring. Percent determined proficient displays the percentage of students to date who have scored proficient on each test. To access score reports for a particular grade-based test, click a cell for the selected grade. You will only see the tests administered by the selected district or school. When you click a cell, a subject detail report will load for the corresponding grade. This example shows the information a district user will see on the subject detail report. It shows the list of schools in the district and their aggregate score data. You can sort the data, show or hide columns, disaggregate data by subgroups and/or test events, and show or hide comparison data. To disaggregate score data by a specific demographic subgroup category, from the Breakdown By drop-down list, select a group and click Go. The report will expand to display the data for each subgroup. For example, you can select Gender to see score data for all students, female students, and male students. To disaggregate the score data by a specific accommodation, from the Test Event drop-down list, select an accommodation and click Go. The report will expand to display the data for each subgroup. If students are able to have different accommodations for different parts of the same test, these students can either be included in a separate category called Multiple or counted under both accommodation values. To view more information about a student, roster, teacher, school, or district, click the magnifying glass icon that appears next to its name. An exploration menu will appear with the name of the entity you clicked in the title. The exploration menu is the preferred method for moving between reports and deciding which type of data you would like to view. The exploration menu's first two drop-down lists display the subject and grade of the report that you are viewing. You can use the second menu to switch to a different grade. For Iowa's ORS, the first drop-down menu only has one available option. The other three drop-down lists determine the type of report that will load when you click the View button. To help you quickly locate the score data you need, these three drop-down lists allow you to ask three different questions: who, what, and when. Your answers to these questions will direct ORS to provide data from that perspective. This slide displays some typical examples of the selections you can make in the Who, What, and When drop-down lists. Note that the particular selections you see will depend upon your user role, the report you are viewing, and which entity's magnifying glass you clicked. When you see NA, or no options in a drop-down list, that means you cannot navigate any farther in that drop-down list. The Who drop-down list determines who will be listed in the report, including all students associated with the district, school, teacher, or roster that you clicked. Note that a teacher can be associated with more than one roster of students. The What drop-down list lets you explore the data by each domain within the selected subject or content area. Note that for Iowa, ORS has only one subject, ELPA21. The When drop-down list is only available in states that have score data from multiple test administrations available in ORS. This option allows you to explore score data across multiple administrations of the same test to the same group of students. It allows you to see the data either as a snapshot of performance in the current test window or as a historical trend. The Trend option will only appear when scores from two or more administrations of the test are available in the system. For more information on using the Exploration menu to navigate between score reports, consult the Online Reporting System User Guide. Using the Exploration menu, you can view reports at different levels: districts, schools, teachers, rosters, and students. This is a sample student listing report showing student performance in each achievement level. You can access the student listing report by clicking the magnifying glass next to a school, teacher, or roster, and then selecting Student in the Exploration menu's Who drop-down list. On most pages in ORS, using the Print tool simply prints the currently displayed information. However, printing from the student listing report works a bit differently. When using the Print tool on the student listing report, a print pop-up window will appear, giving you the option to print just the currently displayed page or to print a separate individual student report, or ISR, for each student in the list. You can choose to include all the ISRs in a single PDF, or you can download each ISR in a separate PDF with the batch of PDFs contained in a zip file. When the PDF file or zip file is ready, you can download your file by clicking My Inbox in the ORS banner. Please remember that student information may only be downloaded to district-issued computers, not to personal computers. An individual student report presents a graphic representation of proficiency. It includes more detailed diagnostic information and comparison scores for the class, teacher, school, district, and state. It also includes student performance on each domain, along with a description of the student's performance level in each domain. You can access a student's ISR by clicking the magnifying glass next to any student's name and selecting Student in the Exploration menu's Who drop-down list. Using the Print tool, you can generate a PDF report of the student's score report. Since printed reports are no longer mailed for Iowa ELPA21, you should be familiar with printing individual student reports in ORS to share with students and families. You can view more content detail for a group of students by clicking the magnifying glass next to a school, teacher, or roster, and then selecting Domain in the Exploration menu's What drop-down list. This is a sample district domain detail report, which includes information on how each school in the district performed on each domain of the test. The Reports and Files drop-down menu provides access to additional reports through the Summary Statistics and Retrieve Student Results pages. We will discuss how these pages function in more detail on the following slides. The Summary Statistics section displays statistics for students who have tested for a selected test by administration year and test name. To generate a Summary Statistics report, first from the Reports and Files drop-down list, select Summary Statistics. Next, select the test administration and test name for your report. Finally, click Generate Report. The report will show the number of students at each opportunity, as shown in this sample report. A test opportunity can be thought of as a test attempt. For example, students at Opportunity 0 have not taken the test, and students at Opportunity 1 have taken the test once. From the Retrieve Student Results section, you can download a zip file containing individual PDFs of each individual student report for all the students associated with the selected school. The zip file will include a CSV manifest that lists all the PDFs included in the zip file. You can also download student data files for a selected test window by district, school, teacher, or roster. The data file contains students' personal information, including enrolled school and grade level, and the selected test scores and domain scale scores, if applicable. You can download the data file in Excel or CSV format. To generate a report, first, from the Reports and Files drop-down list, select Retrieve Student Results. Next, select a report from the Report Type drop-down list. You may download either student data or PDFs of student reports. Then select the parameters for your file from the available drop-down lists and click Download. You will be informed via email once the file is ready. Finally, when your file is ready, click Inbox on the banner. Your file will be in the inbox. Click the download link to save the file to your computer. Your file will continue to be available for 30 days in ORS. If you are unable to download your report within 30 days, it will become unavailable. However, you may always generate the report by following these steps again. You can search for a student's score reports by name or by student state ID. This is especially useful if you need to find a student's score reports but do not know the student's grade or school. This feature searches for score report results, not participation data. To search for multiple students at once, you can enter multiple SSID numbers separated by commas in the search field. Note that a user may only view data that is permitted by their user role. A district-level user can only view data for students in his or her district, and a school-level user can only view data for students in his or her school. The Student Search Results page will show a list of students who match your search. To view all the tests taken by a student, click the plus sign. To view a student's score report for a particular test, click the test name. Remember that if you search for a student by first name and last name, you may retrieve results for multiple students in your school or district who share the same name. On the next few slides, we will discuss adding, viewing, and editing rosters. A roster is a collection of students sharing a similar characteristic who are assigned to a specific teacher. Rosters typically represent classrooms, but can also be used to group students with special needs or students participating in particular activities or programs. You can view how a roster of students performed on a test by selecting Roster in the Who drop-down list in the Score Reports Exploration menu. In order to view their students in ORS, teachers must first have their building or district coordinator add the students to one or more rosters associated with the teacher's name, which can be done in both TIDE and in ORS. Note that a roster created in either system will immediately become available in both systems. To view or edit a roster of students, click the View/Edit Rosters tool in the banner. When you click View/Edit Rosters, the View/Edit Rosters pop-up window will appear. In this example, the district and school criteria are required. Your particular version of ORS may have other fields by which you can retrieve rosters. Click Search to display a list of rosters matching your criteria. Once the list of rosters has loaded, you may print or delete rosters by selecting them and clicking the Print or Delete button above the search results. You may wish to delete a roster that you created in the past and now no longer need. Click the pencil icon next to a roster to view or edit its details. When you click the pencil icon next to a roster, a new pop-up window will appear, allowing you to edit that roster's name, teacher name, and students in the roster. A list of students will appear in the Add Students to the Roster section near the bottom of the pop-up window. Students in the left column are available to be added to the roster, and students in the right column are currently in the roster. To add students to the roster, select the necessary search criteria in the section titled Search for Students to Add to the Roster. Click Search to display a list of students matching your criteria in the Available Students column. To add a single student to the roster, click the green plus sign next to a student in the left column. You can add multiple students to the roster by marking checkboxes next to the students you want to add and then clicking Add Selected. Add all available students to the roster by clicking Add All. To remove a single student from the roster, click the orange X next to a student in the right column. You can remove multiple students from the roster by marking checkboxes next to the students you want to remove and then clicking Remove Selected. Remove all students from the roster by clicking Remove All. When you have finished editing your roster, click Save. You will return to the list of roster search results where you may view or edit additional rosters. You may wish to create a new roster in order to see how a particular group of students performed collectively. School-level users can create a roster of all students in a specific grade who have tested. You can create a custom list of students receiving special instruction or who belong to an extracurricular program to track their performance as a group. For example, you could create a roster of all your students who took the test using the Braille accommodation. Click the Add Roster tool to create a new student roster. When you click Add Roster, the Add Roster pop-up window will appear. To add a new roster, select the district and school to which the roster belongs. Enter a roster name and select the name of the teacher who should be associated with the roster. In Test Settings and Tools filters, you may optionally refine the list of available students by selecting additional criteria from the drop-down lists and checkboxes. Then click Search. Students matching your search criteria will appear in the Available Students column near the bottom of the window. To add a single student to the roster, click the green plus sign next to a student in the left column. You can add multiple students to the roster by marking checkboxes next to the students you want to add and then clicking Add Selected. Add all available students to the roster by clicking Add All. To remove a single student from the roster, click the orange X next to a student in the right column. You can remove multiple students from the roster by marking checkboxes next to the students you want to remove and then clicking Remove Selected. Remove all students from the roster by clicking Remove All. When you are finished adding students to the roster, click Save to create the new roster. Here are a few things to remember. The online reporting system helps educators answer questions regarding the assessment data in order to improve teaching and learning. The magnifying glass icon displays the exploration menu, which is used to explore the different dimensions and levels of score data. All reports can be printed and exported. The Help button is available on every page of ORS, and you can use ORS to generate individual student reports to share with parents. Thank you for taking the time to view this training module. For detailed information, consult your online reporting system user guide located on your state portal or contact your help desk.